The encounter. Captain Maya Chen stood at the viewport of the U.S. Defiance, watching Earth shrink behind her. The beautiful blue marble, humanity's cradle, looked peaceful from this distance, betraying none of the panic unfolding on its surface. Proximity alarms from every defense station in the system had been blaring for the past 18 hours. The Galaxian Empire had arrived. Captain, Fleet Command confirms the evacuation of Geneva and New Shanghai is complete. Lieutenant Park reported from his communication station. Admiral Takano sends her regards. Maya nodded, her expression betraying nothing of the turmoil inside her. And the rest of the defense fleet. Commander Raj Singh, her executive officer, approached with a datapad. Scattered, hiding in the asteroid belt, and behind the moons of Jupiter, as ordered. Minimal power signatures, running silent. And we're the bait, Maya said, more to herself than her bridge crew. The enormity of their task weighed on her shoulders like gravity from a gas giant. The Defiance wasn't the largest vessel in Earth's fleet. In fact, it was relatively small for a capital ship. But what it lacked in size, it made up for with technological advances that had never been field-tested. Until today. Tactical. Show me the enemy fleet, Maya ordered. The holographic display in the center of the bridge flickered to life, showing the massive Galaxian armada emerging from subspace near the orbit of Mars. 87 vessels in a perfect attack formation, their biomechanical ships resembling massive crystalline structures with pulsating veins of energy. At their center, the dreadnought flagship was nearly the size of Earth's moon. They're broadcasting on all frequencies, Captain, Lieutenant Park said. Standard Galaxian surrender demands. Maya had studied the Galaxian conquest pattern extensively. In the 12 years since humanity had first made contact with alien civilizations, they had watched with growing horror as the Galaxians systematically conquered 7 other species across 3 sectors of the galaxy. Their method never varied. Arrive with overwhelming force, demand unconditional surrender, then begin orbital bombardment within 24 hours if their terms weren't met. No species had ever successfully repelled them. Until now, hopefully. Engineering, status of the quantum fold drive, Maya asked. Chief Engineer Zoe Rodriguez's voice came through the comm system. Ready as it'll ever be, Captain. The simulations were promising, but this will be our first actual space-time manipulation at this scale. Maya nodded. Weapons? Lieutenant Commander Akira Tanaka, her tactical officer, reported. Phase disruptors at full capacity. Graviton lance charge. Probability missiles armed and tracking. And the shields. Entanglement field generators operating at optimal parameters, Tanaka confirmed. If Dr. Kaveran's theories hold, we should be able to redirect any conventional energy weapons. Maya took a deep breath. The Defiance represented humanity's last, best hope, a vessel constructed in secret over the past 5 years, incorporating theoretical physics that pushed the boundaries of human understanding. Some of the technology had been reverse-engineered from artifacts discovered beneath the surface of Europa. Others were purely human innovations born of desperation. Captain, Park interrupted, incoming transmission from the Galaxian flagship. They're demanding to speak directly with Earth's leadership. Put it through. Maya straightened her uniform jacket. But only audio. Let's not reveal too much. The bridge speakers crackled, and a deep, resonant voice filled the room. The translation software worked flawlessly, converting the complex harmonic language of the Galaxians into English. I am Supreme Commander Vexola of the glorious Galaxian Empire. Your species has been deemed unworthy of continued independence. You will surrender all planetary defense codes, disarm your military vessels, and prepare for integration into our empire as a client race. You have 6 Earth hours to comply before we commence planetary purification. Maya exchanged glances with Commander Singh, who gave her a slight nod. They had rehearsed this moment. Supreme Commander, Maya responded, this is Captain Maya Chen of the Earth Defense Force. I am authorized to negotiate on behalf of Earth's united government. There was a pause. Then, a military officer. Your leadership cowers behind their warriors, typical of an immature species. Nevertheless, I will entertain your words before we cleanse your world. Maya's hands tightened into fists at her sides. We wish to offer a demonstration of Earth's capabilities before negotiations begin. A single vessel against your entire fleet. If we can survive for 1 hour, you will extend your deadline and engage in good faith diplomatic discussions. Laughter, or what the translation software interpreted as laughter, echoed through the bridge. You offer us sport. 1 vessel against our armada. Perhaps you are more interesting than we anticipated. Very well, Captain. 1 hour, 1 vessel. And when we destroy it, we will commence bombardment immediately. No more delays. The transmission cut off. Maya turned to her crew, all of whom were watching her intently. They took the bait, she said. Helm, bring us out from behind Phobos. Full power to engines, but hold the quantum drive in reserve. Let's show them we're not afraid. The Defiance emerged from behind the Martian moon, its sleek, obsidian hull gleaming in the distant sunlight. At just under 400 meters in length, it was dwarfed by even the smallest Salaxian vessels. They're tracking us, Tanaka reported. 5 Salaxian cruisers breaking formation, moving to intercept. Maya took her command chair, feeling the slight vibration as the Defiance's engines pushed it forward. All hands, battle stations. Tactical, power up the entanglement field but keep the weapons cold for now. Let's see what they throw at us first. The Salaxian cruisers approached rapidly, their crystalline structures pulsing with increasing intensity, a sign they were charging weapons. On the tactical display, Maya watched as energy readings from the alien vessels spiked. Energy buildup detected, Tanaka announced. They're preparing to fire. Maya's voice remained calm. Steady. Wait for my mark. The space between the vessels lit up as 5 simultaneous energy beams lanced out from the Salaxian cruisers, each powerful enough to vaporize a conventional Earth vessel. Now, Maya ordered. The entanglement field activated milliseconds before impact. Instead of striking the Defiance, the energy beams seemed to warp around it, as if space itself bent to protect the human vessel. The beams continued past, curving gracefully before dissipating harmlessly into space. On the Salaxian flagship, Supreme Commander Vexala watched the impossible with compound eyes that had witnessed the fall of 7 civilizations. What trickery is this? He demanded, mandibles clicking in agitation. His science officer, Xurax, studied the readings with equal confusion. Unknown technology, Supreme Commander. The energy didn't impact their hull. It was redirected without any conventional deflector shields. Vexala's carapace flushed with combat hormones. Send the second wave. All cruisers, concentrate fire. Back on the Defiance, Maya allowed herself a small smile. Phase 1 successful. Tanaka, analyze their weapon signatures and prepare defensive countermeasures for their next volley. Helm, bring us about, heading 340 Mark 5. Let's stay mobile. Captain, Singh reported, the Salaxians are deploying their entire fleet. We've got 20 cruisers and 35 destroyers on an intercept course. Good, Maya replied. The more they commit, the fewer remain to threaten Earth. Rodriguez, status on the quantum fold drive. Ready for first sequence, Captain. Coordinates locked and calculated. The space around the Defiance lit up again as dozens of energy beams converged on their position. Once more, the entanglement field redirected the incoming fire, though this time Maya could feel a slight shudder through the deck plating. Field efficiency at 92% and holding, Tanaka reported. They're adapting their weapon frequencies, trying to find a weakness. Time to show them something new, Maya said. Tactical. Target the lead cruiser with the graviton lance. Minimum power setting. This is still just a demonstration. Tanaka's fingers flew across his console. Target locked. Graviton lance charged and ready. Fire. From the forward section of the Defiance, a barely visible distortion rippled outward, striking the lead Salaxian cruiser. There was no explosion, no dramatic burst of energy, just the sudden, catastrophic collapse of the alien vessel's structure as localized gravity increased 1,000-fold within its hull. The crystalline ship imploded, crushed by its own mass into a dense ball of compressed matter no larger than a shuttle. Silence fell across the Defiance's bridge as the crew witnessed the weapon's devastating effect for the first time outside of simulations. In the Salaxian fleet, panic spread as commanders watched one of their most powerful vessels destroyed by an invisible force they couldn't comprehend. Supreme Commander, Zirax reported, mandibles trembling. They'd somehow manipulated gravitational forces with precision we've never encountered. Vexella's rage was palpable. All vessels, full attack pattern. Destroy that ship immediately. The Salaxian fleet surged forward, hundreds of weapons charging simultaneously. Maya knew the entanglement field couldn't withstand such a concentrated assault. Rodriguez, initiate quantum fold sequence now. Initiating quantum fold in 3, 2, 1. Space seemed to ripple around the Defiance. Then the ship simply vanished, not with the flash of a conventional jump drive, but by literally folding space-time around itself, disappearing from one location and reappearing instantly 50,000 kilometers behind the Salaxian fleet. Fold successful, Rodriguez reported, excitement evident in her voice. All systems nominal. They're confused, Singh observed, watching the tactical display as the Salaxian vessels scattered, searching in all directions. Maya nodded. They should be. Let's give them something else to think about. Tactical. Target their flagship's propulsion systems with probability missiles. I want them disabled, not destroyed. Targeting solutions computed. Tanaka confirmed. Probability missiles armed and ready. Fire. 4 missiles launched from the Defiance's torpedo tubes. Unlike conventional weapons, these didn't travel in straight lines. They phased in and out of reality, following probability paths that made them virtually impossible to track or intercept. The missiles reappeared inside the Salaxian flagship's shield perimeter, detonating with precision against its massive propulsion arrays. The dreadnought didn't explode, but its engines flared and died, leaving it drifting and vulnerable. Direct hit, Tanaka reported. Their flagship's propulsion and main power systems are offline. Maya stood from her command chair. Open a channel to Supreme Commander Vexella. When the connection was established, she spoke with deliberate calm. This concludes our demonstration. Supreme Commander, one Earth vessel has disabled your flagship and destroyed one of your cruisers, all within 15 minutes of your 1-hour challenge. We could continue, but I believe we've made our point. There was a long pause before Vexella's voice returned, noticeably less confident than before. What are you? Maya's expression remained neutral. We are humanity. We developed this technology knowing your empire was expanding toward our region of space. The Defiance is just our prototype. Our main fleet is being fitted with these systems as we speak. It was a bluff. The Defiance was unique, a technological marvel that couldn't be easily replicated. But the Salaxians had no way of knowing that. We will consider your request for diplomatic discussions, Vexella finally responded. Stand down your vessel, and we will reciprocate. Gladly, Maya replied. But know this. If a single Salaxian weapon fires on either my ship or my planet, we will respond with the full capability of our technology. And what you've seen today has been restrained. As the communication ended, Maya turned to her crew, seeing a mixture of relief and pride on their faces. They had done the impossible, faced down the most feared empire in known space, and forced them to reconsider. It worked, Singh said quietly beside her. They believe we're more powerful than we actually are. Maya nodded. For now, but this is just the beginning. The real challenge starts with the negotiations. The Defiance maintained its position, A single human warship against an alien armada, having accomplished what no other species had managed in decades of Salaxian expansion. They had earned respect through strength, and perhaps a chance for peace. But Maya knew the Salaxians wouldn't retreat forever. This was just the first confrontation in what could become a long conflict. Humanity would need to marshal all its ingenuity, courage, and determination to survive what was coming. For today, though, they had won. One ship had been enough. The Reckoning. Aboard the crippled Salaxian flagship, Supreme Commander Vexala's massive form trembled with rage. His inner circle of commanders stood at a respectful distance, mandibles tucked close to their faces in submission. "Impossible," he hissed, compound eyes fixed on the holographic image of the human vessel. "No emerging species should possess such technology. We monitored their development for decades. Nothing indicated these capabilities." Science Officer Zirax approached cautiously. "Supreme Commander, our analysis suggests the humans have somehow harnessed quantum entanglement principles for both defensive and offensive applications. The vessel's ability to fold space-time indicates mastery of physics beyond what we believed possible for their level of development." "Could they have received assistance?" War strategist Krex inquired. "Perhaps the Arcturians or the Melnibonian Collective." Vexala's mandibles clicked sharply. "Irrelevant. What matters is their claim of an entire fleet armed with these weapons." "Is it true?" Zirax hesitated. "Our long-range scans detect numerous vessels hiding throughout their system, but power signatures are minimal. We cannot verify their capabilities without closer inspection." "Then we must test them," Vexala decided. "Dispatch our stealth scouts to locate these hidden vessels. Meanwhile, we will engage this defiance, again, with new tactics. If this is truly their only advanced ship, we must destroy it before the rest of their fleet can be equipped." Meanwhile, on the Defiance, Captain Maya Chen studied the tactical display, showing the Salaxian fleet reorganizing around their disabled flagship. "They're not retreating," Commander Singh observed. "I never expected them to," Maya replied. "The Salaxians don't retreat, they adapt. We've bought time, not victory." Lieutenant Park looked up from his communications console. "Captain, Admiral Takano is requesting an update." "Put her through to my ready room," Maya ordered, rising from her command chair. "Commander Singh, you have the bridge. Monitor the Salaxian movements and alert me to any changes." In the privacy of her ready room, Maya accepted the transmission. Admiral Hiroko Takano's weathered face appeared on the screen, lined with the stress of the past weeks. "It worked," the Admiral said without preamble. "Our sensors recorded the entire engagement. Remarkable work, Captain." "Thank you, Admiral. But they're regrouping. This isn't over." Takano nodded. "What's your assessment?" Maya gathered her thoughts. The quantum fold drive and entanglement field performed beyond expectations. The graviton lance was more effective than our simulations predicted, but the Defiance wasn't designed for prolonged combat. Each use of the quantum fold drive depletes our exotic matter reserves. We have enough for perhaps 5 more jumps. And the rest of our fleet, still outmatched in conventional terms. If the Salaxians discover they're facing only one advanced vessel, they'll overwhelm us with numbers. Takano's expression hardened. "Then we must maintain the deception at all costs." "Your orders remain unchanged. Keep the Salaxians engaged and away from Earth while we evacuate critical personnel to the underground facilities. The Mars and Europa colonies are already implementing shelter protocols. And if we fail?" Maya asked quietly. "Then humanity survives underground, rebuilds, and fights another day." Takano's voice softened slightly. "But I have faith in you and the Defiance, Captain. You've already accomplished the impossible once today." As the transmission ended, Maya returned to the bridge to find her crew on high alert. "The Salaxians are launching small craft," Singh reported. "Stealth scouts, based on their energy signatures." Maya frowned. "They're looking for our non-existent fleet. Tactical, can we track them?" "Affirmative," Tanaka responded. Their stealth technology doesn't account for quantum wake detection. Good. Target and disable. Don't destroy as many as you can with conventional weapons. Let's conserve our advanced systems for now. The Defiance moved with surprising agility for its size, intercepting the Selexian scouts as they dispersed throughout the system. Precision strikes from its point defense lasers disabled engines and communication arrays without completely destroying the alien vessels. 6 scouts disabled, Tanaka reported. 4 more evaded and are proceeding toward the asteroid belt. Maya nodded. Let them go. They'll find our conventional ships there, but nothing that reveals our bluff. What's the main fleet doing? Forming into a new attack configuration. Singh answered. 3 separate groups, approaching from different vectors. They're adapting their strategy. As expected, Maya said. They're trying to force us to use the quantum fold drive, knowing it must have limitations. She paused, considering her options. Engineering. What's the status of the probability field generator? Rodriguez's voice came through the comm. Untested in combat conditions, Captain. The simulations were promising, but the power requirements are extreme. Understood. Begin power-up sequence, but hold it 70%. We may need it soon. Maya turned to her helm officer. Lieutenant Walsh, plot an intercept course with the closest Selexian group. Conventional engines only, full speed. The bridge crew exchanged surprised glances. Maya was deliberately avoiding use of their advanced technology, choosing instead to confront the aliens head-on. You're wondering about my strategy, she said, noting their confusion. The Selexians expect us to rely on our quantum technology. They're counting on it having limitations they can exploit. So we'll show them something different, that we're willing to fight conventionally too. The Defiance accelerated toward the approaching Selexian vessels, which adjusted their course in response, clearly surprised by the human ship's direct approach. They're charging weapons, Tanaka warned. Activate the entanglement field, minimal power, just enough to deflect their initial volley. Maya's voice remained steady. Then target their lead vessel with conventional missiles. Full spread. The space between the ships lit up as Selexian energy weapons fired. The entanglement field redirected most of the incoming fire, though several beams penetrated partially, scoring glancing hits against the Defiance's hull. Minor damage to outer hull sections, Singh reported. Automated repair systems responding. Return fire. The Defiance launched a barrage of conventional missiles, which the Selexians easily intercepted with defensive fire, exactly as Maya had anticipated. Now, Tanaka. Graviton Lance, target their flagship's weapon systems. Full power. The invisible gravitational distortion lanced out, bypassing the Selexian vessel's defenses completely. Where the graviton beam struck, the crystalline structure of the alien ship compressed catastrophically, weapon emplacements imploding into dense spheres of matter. Direct hit, Tanaka confirmed. Their primary weapons are neutralized. Maya allowed no celebration. Rodriguez, probability field generator status. Ready at 70% capacity, Captain. Activate it now. Target the space between the second and third Selexian attack groups. The Defiance's newest weapon system came online, projecting an invisible field that altered the fundamental probability states of the targeted region of space. Within that field, unlikely events became likely, while certainties became merely possibilities. The effect on the approaching Selexian vessels was immediate and disorienting. Navigation systems failed as probable location shifted. Weapon targeting became impossible as probability curves for successful hits flattened to near zero. 2 vessels collided as their probability-altered trajectories intersected against all conventional physics. On the Selexian flagship, Vexilla watched in mounting horror as his carefully coordinated attack disintegrated into chaos. "What new devilry is this?" he demanded. Xerax's usually confident voice trembled. "They're manipulating probability itself, Supreme Commander. Our ships in the affected region report complete failure of predictive systems. Impossible. No technology can alter fundamental reality. And yet, Zirax said quietly, "We are witnessing it." Vexala's rage gave way to something the Supreme Commander had never experienced before: doubt. The humans' claim. Could they truly have an entire fleet with these capabilities? The question hung unanswered in the stillness of the command center. Back on the Defiance, Maya watched as the Salaxian attack faltered. The probability field had exceeded expectations, though warning indicators showed power systems straining under the load. "Field generator overheating," Rodriguez reported. "We need to shut it down soon or risk permanent damage." "Hold for 30 more seconds," Maya ordered. "Give them time to fully appreciate what they're seeing." As the seconds counted down, the Salaxian fleet's confusion turned to panic. Several vessels attempted emergency jumps to subspace, only to find their drive calculations rendered unpredictable by the probability field. "Now, Rodriguez, shut it down gradually. Make it look intentional, not like a failure." As the field dissipated, Maya opened a channel to the Salaxian flagship. "Supreme Commander Vexala, you've now witnessed 2 of our defensive technologies. We have others. Are you prepared for diplomatic discussions, or shall we continue this demonstration?" The response was long in coming, but when it arrived, Vexala's voice had lost its imperious tone. "We will withdraw to the orbit of your planet you call Mars and await your diplomatic envoys. But know this, human. If this is trickery, if you have shown us your only weapons, the consequences will be terrible." Maya exchanged glances with Singh. The threat was there, but so was the uncertainty, exactly what they needed. "We understand each other then," she replied. "Expect our diplomatic vessel within 6 hours. Defiance out." As the transmission ended, a collective breath seemed to release across the bridge. They had survived the second encounter, pushed back the most feared empire in known space, not just with superior technology, but with strategic thinking. "Will they really negotiate?" Lieutenant Park asked, breaking the silence. Maya's expression was grim. "They'll go through the motions while they analyze what they've seen and search for weaknesses. This isn't over. It's just changing form." "But we've bought time," Singh added. "Time for evacuations, time to prepare." "Yes," Maya agreed. "And time for one more deception." She turned to her communications officer. "Lieutenant Park, contact Earth. I need to speak with the diplomatic corps immediately. We're going to need a very impressive shuttle and a team of negotiators who understand exactly what's at stake." Hours later, as Maya watched the specially modified diplomatic vessel depart for its meeting with the Xalaxians, she allowed herself a moment of reflection. The Defiance had accomplished the impossible, stood alone against an alien armada, and forced them to reconsider their conquest. Not through overwhelming force, but through innovation, deception, and the uniquely human ability to make an enemy believe you were more dangerous than you actually were. It wouldn't last forever. Eventually, the Xalaxians would discover the truth, or another threat would emerge. But humanity had earned a reprieve, a chance to develop the prototypes tested on the Defiance into a true defense force. One ship had been enough today. It wouldn't be enough tomorrow. But for the first time since the Xalaxians appeared on humanity's sensors, there was hope, not just for survival, but for a future where humans stood equal among the stars. From her viewport, Maya watched Earth rotate serenely below, its blue oceans and white clouds untouched by the conflict that had nearly consumed it. They had protected it for another day. Tomorrow would bring its own challenges, but for now, that was enough. "Captain," Singh said quietly beside her, "the crew is asking, was this a victory?" Maya considered the question carefully before answering. "Not a victory, Commander. A beginning."